Anna sat motionless in the hospital waiting room, gripping her phone tightly, her eyes staring blankly through the fogged glass. The phone rang again. This time it was a call from her mother. "Anna, what are you doing there? How is Emily?" Her mother's voice sounded anxious. Anna tried to stay calm, her voice trembling as she replied, "Mom, Emily is very bad. The doctors say she's in a severe psychological crisis. I need you to come to the hospital immediately." There was silence on the other end for a moment before her mother said, "We've done all we can, dear. Please don't worry." In pain, Anna asked, "Done all you can? Then why haven't you come to see her? Why don't you care?" Without waiting for a response, Anna hung up, tears streaming uncontrollably down her face. She sighed, looking around the cold room where hurried footsteps passed by, but inside she felt utterly alone. In the days that followed, Anna kept calling and texting her parents, begging them to visit Emily, but never received a satisfactory reply. One day on her 10th call to her mother, she cried out, "Mom, you can't keep ignoring this. My sister needs us. We are family, aren't we?" On the other end, her mother replied coldly, "Anna, don't make a fuss. Everything will be fine." The call ended in a heavy silence filled with disappointment. Having no other choice, Anna decided to seek help from a lawyer. She couldn't stand by and watch her sister suffer alone. At the hospital, Anna stood alongside lawyer Thomas, facing her parents. "Mr. Thomas spoke sternly. "Karen, Robert, this is not only your moral responsibility but also your legal duty. Neglecting your daughter's critical condition can have serious consequences." Karen trembled as she said, We didn't know what to do." Anna interjected, "Mom, Dad, you can't keep ignoring this. Emily needs the care and love of her family." Robert lowered his head silently. When her parents entered the intensive care unit and saw Emily lying there, frail and weak, Karen broke down crying, "Emily, I'm so sorry." Emily opened her eyes weakly. "Mom, why didn't you come to me sooner?" Karen squeezed her daughter's hand tightly. "I was wrong. I won't abandon you again." Anna watched them, tears rolling down her cheeks. "This is just the beginning, Mom. We have to get through this together." The dim light from the desk lamp in the counseling room cast shadows over Karen's deeply wrinkled face. She sat silently, her eyes heavy with sorrow as they rested on her trembling hands. Across the room, Anna, Emily, and Robert were present, the atmosphere thick with unspoken questions and lingering tension. "Dear Lisa," a young woman with a gentle smile spoke softly, "we have all been through a difficult time. But to move forward, I want everyone to share honestly their feelings and thoughts. Karen, could you tell us why you found it challenging to care for Emily?" Karen took a deep breath, her voice trembling as she began. I don't even know where to start. The workload, the pressures of life weighed me down so much that sometimes I felt I had no strength left to care for my children. I thought providing the best material conditions would be enough." Anna interrupted. "Mom, Emily doesn't need material things. She needs attention, understanding, and most importantly, true love." Emily curled up beside them, her voice weak yet filled with pain. "There were many times I felt so lonely, like I didn't exist in my parents' eyes." Robert, once a stern man, now stammered and looked down at the floor. "I believed being strict would make my children stronger. But now I see I was wrong." Lisa gently added, "Strictness may be necessary, but lack of empathy and understanding is what led Emily to this state. Psychological crises aren't her fault, nor yours. They require patience and love to heal." Karen began to weep, her tears mingling with a heavy sigh. "I truly apologize to Emily. I didn't understand her. I neglected her when she needed me most." Emily looked at her mother, tears welling up. "I don't want to blame you. I just want you to understand me better, and not make me feel abandoned." Anna held her sister's hand tightly, her voice choking with emotion. "We all have made mistakes, but now it's time to forgive and start anew." In the days that followed, Anna's family embarked on a journey of healing, a path fraught with challenges, but illuminated by renewed understanding. Karen devoted herself to learning about mental health issues, attending classes and support groups for parents of children with psychological conditions. She confided in Anna, "You know, every day I learn something new. It's not about giving our children the best material things, but about spending time with them, caring and truly understanding." Robert made efforts to change as well, spending more time with the family. One quiet evening he told Emily, "My daughter, I'm sorry I didn't recognize your pain sooner. I promise to be a better father." Emily gave a faint smile, eyes full of hope. "I know you want the best for me. I just need you by my side, not distant." Anna, as the older sister and companion, was always there to support Emily through every step of recovery. One afternoon, as the two sisters sat by the window bathed in warm sunlight, Emily suddenly confessed, "I used to think I was weak and couldn't bear it. But now I realize being allowed to be weak is strength." Anna smiled. "That's right. And I'll always be here for you to get through everything, dear." Lisa once told the family, "This journey will be long with many setbacks, but every step forward is a victory. The most important things are love and patience." Under the warm glow of the meeting room's light, Karen looked at her children and husband, speaking softly but firmly. "We are a family. Every wound will heal if we know how to love and forgive." Robert nodded. "And from today we will rewrite our story together, with the purest love." Emily leaned on Anna's shoulder, her voice gentle. "Thank you all for not abandoning me." Gradually, the small changes in each family member brought about great turning points. Emily began to smile more, even picking up her beloved colorful paintings again. Karen often sat with Emily by the drawing table, sharing stories about dreams unfulfilled and mistakes made. Robert, though quiet, showed his love through small acts, making dinner, taking walks with his daughter. Anna felt the change deeply, her heart full of hope. She knew the road ahead would still have challenges, but the family had found each other again. One peaceful evening, as they gathered around a small dining table, Emily looked at everyone, eyes full of emotion. "I know I have fallen many times, but I also know that family is where I find the strength to stand again." Karen squeezed her daughter's hand, her voice trembling. "We will never leave you alone again, Emily." Robert smiled faintly. "Family is everything." Anna looked at her loved ones, heart filled with gratitude and faith. "We have weathered the storm together, and we will keep moving forward together." After days filled with pain and tears, Anna's family began the challenging journey toward healing. One morning, dear Lisa came to visit Emily in her hospital room, offering a gentle smile. "Emily, how are you feeling today?" she asked. Emily closed her eyes for a moment, then replied softly, "I'm feeling a little better, but sometimes I still feel scared." Lisa nodded kindly. "That's normal. Psychological crises don't just disappear overnight. What matters is that you know you're not alone." Outside the room, Karen and Robert sat facing each other, their eyes heavy with worry. Karen sighed deeply. "Do you think we can do this? We've missed so much already." Robert took his wife's hand firmly. "Yes, Karen. Now is the time to change, no matter how hard it is." Anna stood faithfully by Emily's side, acting as both sister and patient friend. One afternoon, the two sisters sat by the window, sunlight filtering through the leaves, casting shimmering patterns across the floor. Emily looked at Anna, her voice trembling. "Sometimes I thought I was too weak, couldn't bear it anymore. But now I realize being allowed to be weak is also a kind of strength." Anna smiled softly. "That's right, dear. Weakness doesn't mean failure. I'll always be here, standing by you through everything." Family therapy sessions began. For the first time, Karen confessed, "I didn't realize how much I had failed until I saw Emily lying there." Robert added, "Me too. I was too strict and didn't know how to show love." Emily spoke to her parents. "I don't want to blame anyone. I just hope our family can understand and love each other more, dear." Lisa advised, "Communication and empathy will help your family rebuild trust and love." Step by step, the small family began to change. Karen devoted time to learning about mental health, attending workshops for parents. She shared with Anna, "Every day I learn something new. The most important things are love and patience." Robert gradually opened his heart. One day he said to Emily, "I'm sorry for letting you suffer so much. I want to start over." Emily gave a rare smile, her eyes shining with hope. "I know you're trying, and I will try too." Anna and Emily spent time together, creating beautiful memories. One evening, under the moonlight streaming through the window, Emily confided, "I feel peace when you're by my side." Anna hugged her sister. I'll always be here, a shoulder for you to lean on. Together, the family began to rebuild trust and connection. Karen said to everyone, "Family is where we find the strength to overcome any challenge." Robert nodded in agreement. "And we will never abandon each other again." Emily looked around, her eyes bright. "I'm happy that our family is like this again." The weak sunlight filtered through the curtains of the living room, casting faint streaks across Karen's deeply wrinkled face. She sat quietly, her eyes heavy with sorrow, murmuring words she had never spoken before. "We have hurt our daughter too much," she said to Robert, who sat beside her. His eyes weighed down as if carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Robert sighed deeply, his voice low. "I thought strict discipline would make our children stronger. But now I realize it only built walls between us." Karen quickly wiped the tears streaming down her cheeks. "I was too busy, too exhausted to recognize Emily's pain. I can't forgive myself." Robert gently took his wife's hand. "We can't change the past, but we can start now together to heal." One day, Robert called Emily, his voice trembling. "My daughter, I want to say I'm sorry for not noticing your suffering sooner." Emily was silent for a moment, then replied softly, "Dad, I know you always want the best for me. I need you beside me, not just words." Robert choked up. "I will try. I will always be there for you." Karen visited Emily in her hospital room, her voice gentle. "My daughter, I'm sorry for making you feel lonely and abandoned." Emily looked at her mother, tears rolling down. "I just want you to understand and love me more." Karen hugged her daughter tightly. "I will learn to love you the right way." Anna stood outside watching the family, her heart full of hope. She knew her parents' awakening was the most important turning point. One evening during a family meeting, Karen said, "We will no longer let past mistakes come between our family's love." Robert nodded. "We will rebuild trust and love together." Emily smiled. "I feel lucky to have a family like this." Awakening is not just a change in behavior but a transformation of the soul. Anna's parents realized that love cannot be expressed only in words but must be shown through actions, presence, and understanding. In a private moment, Karen said to Anna, "You are the one who woke me up. I am so grateful to you." Anna held her mother's hand, speaking softly, "Mom, we will walk forward together." Anna's family began to share warm evenings together, talking, sharing, and listening. The wounds gradually healed, and the distances between them narrowed. Robert often took walks with Emily, listening as she shared her dreams and future plans. Karen cared for every meal and moment, showing her love through actions. Emily looked at her family and softly said, "I used to be afraid and hopeless, but now I know that love and care can heal everything." Anna smiled. "We have walked through the darkness, now it's time to step into the light." One weekend evening, Anna's entire family gathered around the small dining table in the living room. The warm yellow light cast a gentle glow, chasing away the chill of the past months. The atmosphere tonight was different, calm and filled with hope. Emily looked around the table and said softly, "I want to tell everyone I love you all very much. Even though there were times I felt abandoned before, now I feel our family is truly together." Karen smiled, her eyes moist with tears. "My dear daughter, I love you very much too. I'm sorry I didn't realize it sooner." Robert nodded. "I'm sorry as well, Emily. I will do everything to make up for the mistakes of the past." Anna took Emily's hand, her voice full of faith. "We have weathered the storms together. Now it's time to heal all the wounds." After dinner, everyone sat together sharing their feelings and future plans. Emily spoke about her dream of becoming a painter, continuing to use colors to tell the story of her life. Karen confided, "I will support you wholeheartedly, never letting you feel alone again." Robert thought quietly to himself, "Family is where everything begins, and I will never let it break again." A few weeks later, Anna's family hosted a small gathering with close friends. The atmosphere was joyful and warm, a testament to their rebirth. Emily shone brightly in a blue dress, her eyes sparkling with happiness as everyone praised the paintings she had created. Karen busied herself making tea, caring for guests with a gentle smile. Robert chatted cheerfully with friends, shedding the sternness that usually marked his demeanor. Anna watched them all, her heart full of warmth and gratitude. She silently told herself that every effort, Every tear shed had been worth it. In a quiet moment, Emily said to Anna, "You know, I once thought I couldn't love anymore. But now I know love never runs dry, as long as we dare to open our hearts." Anna replied, "And I will always be by your side, a steadfast support for all your dreams." They had endured the hardest times together. But through those struggles, their bond grew stronger than ever. Karen silently thanked those moments of awakening, realizing that silence and neglect are never the answers. Robert came to understand that true strength lies in sharing and love. Emily, once a wounded girl, had found herself again and hope for the future. Anna, the resilient sister, became the torch guiding her family out of darkness. A year had passed since Anna's family embarked on their journey of healing. The small house was now filled with laughter, light, and the simple miracles of everyday life. Emily stood in the art room, holding a paintbrush, her eyes full of confidence and passion. Her vibrant paintings told the story of a girl who had once lived through darkness but had found the light. Anna walked in, smiling warmly at her sister. "You've come so far. I'm really proud of you." Emily turned around, returning the warm smile. "Thank you for always being by my side and guiding me through the hardest days." In the living room, Karen and Robert sat together holding hands. Karen said, "You know, we've learned so much over the past year. Love and understanding are what matter most." Robert nodded. "And now we know how to nurture that love every day." The family hosted a small celebration to mark the new beginning. Friends and relatives gathered to congratulate them on the recovery and renewed bonds. Emily spoke with deep emotion. "I want to thank everyone who has stood by my family. Life is never easy, but with love, everything is possible." Karen was touched. "We have learned how to love and care in the right way. And that is the greatest gift." Robert smiled. "Family is the strongest foundation in life." Anna looked around, seeing the hopeful and happy faces of everyone. She silently thanked the hard times that had helped their family grow stronger and closer. "We have walked through darkness to reach the light," Anna thought to herself. "And from here the future will be filled with new chapters of hope and love." One sunny afternoon, Emily stood by the window, gazing out at the vast sky ahead. She quietly thought, "Though life can be dark at times, the light is always there, waiting for us to find it." Anna stepped beside her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "I will always walk with you, to the ends of the earth if you want." Emily smiled, her heart full of life. "Thank you for everything." Anna's family had endured a challenging journey from deep wounds to miraculous recovery. They had learned that with love, patience, and forgiveness, every wound can be healed. And most importantly, family is where we find faith, strength, and true happiness.